Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right, visualizing, affirming, wishing with all your might, yet nothing changes? Maybe the problem isn't what you're doing, but where you're doing it from. The truth is, almost everything you've learned about manifestation might actually be working against you, because manifestation doesn't happen from desire to result. It happens the other way around. Yes, quantum manifestation works backwards. And when you understand this, the game changes forever. You don't manifest by wanting something, you manifest by being that something. It's not about waiting for the miracle, but becoming the miracle now. In this video, you'll learn how to completely reverse the process and collapse realities from the final state, not from the initial effort. And before we go any further, drop this phrase in the comments. It will open new possibilities in your vibrational field. I am already the result I want to live. This isn't just a phrase, it's a signal to the universe that you're ready. Jacobo Grinberg went far beyond traditional science. A psychologist, neurophysiologist, and consciousness researcher, he dedicated his life to studying what truly builds reality. While many limited themselves to what the eyes could see and instruments could measure, Grinberg dared to dive into the interface between mind, energy, and the universe. His work, still largely misunderstood by much of academia, revealed a startling truth. The reality we live in isn't fixed. It's a projection shaped by our mental field. His synergic theory proposes that the universe is made up of an unstructured field of information that organizes itself according to the perception of the observer. In other words, you don't observe reality, you collapse it. And that collapse doesn't happen through desire, but through states of being. What you feel as true within yourself transforms into the external structure the world reflects back to you. This is the heart of quantum manifestation, not asking for something far away, but taking on the identity of someone who already lives it, right now. Grinberg teaches that time is malleable, reality is mental, and consciousness is the most powerful creation tool in existence. And that's why manifesting backwards isn't just possible, it's natural. Most people believe that desire is the starting point of manifestation. After all, without desire, why would we seek anything? But that's exactly where the biggest paradox of traditional manifestation begins. Desire, although it seems like a powerful fuel, hides a subtle trap. It exposes absence. Every time you say, "I want," you are energetically affirming, "I don't have." And that is exactly what the universe mirrors back. The quantum field doesn't respond to the words you say, but to the vibrational state you maintain. If your desire carries anxiety, urgency, or frustration, it means that internally you still believe what you want is far away, out of reach. You can repeat positive affirmations all day long, but if the feeling that accompanies them is one of lack or waiting, your real vibration will be scarcity. And the universe, acting as a perfect vibrational mirror, will reflect that scarcity in your reality. This is the silent mistake that traps millions of people in cycles of frustration. They believe they're manifesting, but in truth they're feeding the opposite. Desire alone doesn't manifest. Desire only points to a gap, and if that gap is kept alive every day through doubt, expectation, or the sense that it hasn't arrived yet, it turns into an active program that sustains the distance between you and what you want. Jacobo Grinberg helps us understand this by saying that reality is built by the perceptual structure of consciousness. What you perceive as true within yourself, the quantum field, transforms into manifestation outside of you. So if you perceive that you still don't have it, even while desiring it intensely, it's that perception, not the desire, that shapes your reality. It's like trying to tune into a radio station by turning up the volume. You increase the power, but you're still on the wrong frequency. The intensity of your desire doesn't matter if your vibration is misaligned with the final result. And here's the key. Desire must be transmuted into certainty. Seeking must be replaced by embodiment. Instead of saying, "I want prosperity," the field responds when you vibrate, "I am prosperity." Not as a future wish, but as a felt presence in the now. What seems counterintuitive is actually a paradigm shift. Manifestation isn't about wanting, it's about choosing and living as if it already is. Desire has its role, of course. It reveals what you value, but it doesn't manifest. What manifests is the vibration you sustain after deciding it's already yours. This is the real secret behind the paradox of traditional manifestation. As long as you desire with the vibration of someone who doesn't have, you'll keep feeding a reality of absence. But when you become what you desire, even without external proof, reality starts reorganizing to reflect that new vibrational identity. Imagine for a moment that time isn't a straight line, but a web of possibilities coexisting simultaneously. Imagine that your ideal future already exists, not as a distant fantasy, but as an active frequency waiting to be tuned into. Quantum manifestation starts right there, not in projecting a desire into tomorrow, but in the vibrational embodiment of the result now. That's the key that changes everything. Quantum physics has already shown, in experiments like the double-slit test, that the observer doesn't just interfere with the experiment, they define the outcome. This reveals a deep truth. Your consciousness isn't a spectator of reality, but the focal point that collapses one possibility out of infinite ones. The quantum field is an ocean of futures ready to be accessed, and you are the lens that focuses and solidifies one of those versions. Manifesting from the future to the present flips common logic. Instead of walking toward the result, you start vibrating from it. It's no longer about dreaming of a day when you'll be prosperous, healthy, or loved. It's about mentally, emotionally, and energetically inhabiting the now, as if that were already a fact. Think about how you'd feel if your desire were already real. What would your posture be? How would your breathing change? Would your actions shift? What would you stop worrying about? The secret is right there. The quantum field responds to your final state, not to your will to reach it. When you vibrate with confidence, lightness, and gratitude, as if the result has already happened, your electromagnetic field changes. Your brain activates different connections. Your body enters coherence, and reality starts reflecting this new pattern. You're no longer trying to force a future. You're collapsing that future into the present. That's why unexpected results, synchronicities, and opportunities open in ways you could never have predicted. Jacobo Grinberg explained that the structure of reality is malleable and responds to the consciousness observing it. This means your ideal future doesn't need to be reached, it needs to be chosen. And the only way to do that is to live now in the emotional and mental vibration of what you want to experience. This principle is what makes quantum manifestation so powerful. It bypasses the linear path of the logical mind and operates in the vibrational plane, where time, space, and causality don't follow conventional rules. When you start from the end, everything aligns. Anxiety disappears, doubt goes silent, urgency fades, because there is no longer one day, there is only now. Those now vibrates the end you've chosen as inevitable. By doing this, you activate the most potent quantum magnetism there is, the effortless certainty. And in that state, the universe has no choice. It responds precisely to the vibration you sustain. Manifesting from the future to the present is, therefore, the most natural and coherent way to create miracles. Because you're no longer trying, you already are. The most powerful transformation you can experience isn't achieving something external, but the silent shift in who you believe yourself to be. In the quantum field, manifestation isn't a matter of effort or worthiness, it's a matter of identity. The universe doesn't respond to what you want, but to what you are, and that's where everything begins to change. Your identity is like an energetic code that sends signals to the field around you. It's what says, even without words, this is what I believe is possible for me. And no matter how much you desire something great, if your identity is still anchored in limitations, fears, or scarcity, that vibration will be stronger than any affirmation or visualization. You can repeat 1,000 times that you want prosperity, but if inside you still see yourself as someone struggling to make it, that will be your dominant reality. Becoming now the person who already lives the reality you want isn't an illusion or an act. It's a vibrational decision. It's choosing every day to adjust your posture, your thoughts, and your emotions to reflect the being you know already exists within you. It's stepping out of the role of someone waiting for results and stepping into the role of someone carrying an inner truth so strong that the outer world will inevitably have to match it. Jacobo Grinberg taught that perception is the matrix of reality. What you perceive as true within yourself becomes the structure that organizes your external experience. Therefore, the deepest manifestation isn't in getting something, but in changing who you are in the field of perception. When that happens, the world around you reorganizes effortlessly. Think of someone who already lives what you want to manifest. How do they walk? How do they speak? What decisions do they make? What kind of energy do they radiate? Now ask yourself, what's stopping me from being that person now? The most honest answer is probably nothing but my internal programming. This is the turning point. When you stop waiting to become someone in the future and start embodying that version in the present, your frequency changes. Your nervous system calms. Your mind stops chasing and begins to recognize the signs of what's already in motion. And the universe, being nothing more than a vibrational mirror, begins to reflect exactly that. Assuming the identity of the fulfilled me isn't pretending, it's realignment. It's recognizing that your highest version already exists. It doesn't need to be created, only accessed. And every choice, thought, and emotion you sustain from that identity is like a vibrational anchor that makes the invisible inevitable. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And when your being carries the energy of already fulfilled, reality has no option but to follow your vibrational command. Manifesting consciously isn't about thinking positively, but about achieving vibrational coherence. This means making your mind, heart, and body speak the same energetic language. When thought, emotion, and biology are in harmony, the quantum field responds like a precise echo. Reality begins to reflect exactly the frequency you're emitting, not as desire, but as a present state of being. Why is this so important? Because most people live in misalignment. They think one thing, feel another, and act in yet another way. For example, they say, "I am prosperous," but feel fear when opening their banking app. They think love is coming, but constantly relive old traumas and hurts. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you think in isolation. It responds to your entire frequency, determined by the sum of thought, emotion, and behavior. Jacobo Grinberg explained that human consciousness acts as a modulator of reality. If that consciousness is fragmented, the field it influences will be too. It's like trying to tune into a radio station with 3 poorly calibrated antennas. You get nothing but static, distortion, and delay. But when all 3 align, the frequency stabilizes and the sound becomes clear. The same happens with your life. Thought is the command, the intention. Emotion is the fuel, the energy that gives strength to the command. The body is the physical transmitter of that energy. If you think abundance, feel gratitude, and act with confidence, you become a magnetic field radiating a coherent reality. And the universe, pure responsive intelligence, starts rearranging situations, people, and opportunities to mirror that vibration. So how do you achieve this coherence in practice? The first step is emotional awareness. Before affirming or visualizing, ask yourself, what am I really feeling? If there's fear, doubt, or anxiety, Don't repress it. Recognize it, breathe through it, and transmute it. Use your breath to bring presence and safety to the body. Then, consciously choose an emotion aligned with the final result: joy, gratitude, lightness, confidence. Imagine living what you want as if it were happening now. Feel the details, don't just see it, feel it. Then, bring this into your body. Walk like someone who has already achieved it. Speak like someone who has clarity. Decide like someone who has already won. This body posture creates feedback to the brain, reinforcing the emotion and solidifying the new identity. Vibrational coherence is the missing link in most manifestation methods. When you align thought, emotion, and body, you're no longer trying to change your life. You're already living as if it had changed. And that vibration, when maintained consistently, becomes irresistible to the quantum field. Nothing is more magnetic than a human in coherence. Because they're not searching, they're radiating. And the universe has no choice. It responds to that vibration with mathematical precision. Letting go of control is perhaps the most challenging step in the entire manifestation process. Not because it's difficult in itself, but because it requires something the ego deeply fears: surrender. We're conditioned from an early age to believe that controlling every detail is a sign of strength, responsibility, and intelligence. But in the quantum field, too much control creates the opposite effect. It blocks the flow, slows the process, and keeps you stuck in a vibration of scarcity and anxiety. Control is actually an expression of fear. When you try to force a specific outcome, insist on one path, or set an exact time for something to happen, you're telling the universe, even unconsciously, "I don't trust." And the quantum field, which responds to your internal state, reflects that same vibration. Stalled situations, delayed results, unclear paths. Jacobo Grinberg spoke about consciousness as the structure that shapes reality. He explained that by trying to force a specific format on that structure, you interfere with the natural movement of the field. Consciousness enters tension and the flow breaks. What should be a dance between intention and manifestation becomes a silent war between expectation and reality. The true power lies in detachment. But detachment doesn't mean giving up or abandoning your dreams. It means making space for them to manifest in the highest way possible, even if it's not exactly how you imagined. When you let go of control, you allow the intelligence of the quantum field, which is infinitely wiser than your linear mind, to arrange the path. You step out of the role of executor and take on the role of co-creator. Think about this. When you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's sprouting. You trust, you water it, tend the soil, protect it from too much sun or rain, but you don't force its growth. That's the behavior of someone who knows there's an invisible intelligence at work. The same applies to your intentions. When you send a desire into the field, you must nurture the vibration and trust the manifestation. Watch with faith, not with desperation. Letting go of control is a state of consciousness that says, "I know it's already mine, even if I can't see it yet." It's that silent certainty that creates space for miracles to happen. Because where there's peace, there's openness. Where there's trust, there's flow. Where there's presence, there's synchronicity. The most interesting thing is that when you truly let go, you stop caring about the when and the how, and that's precisely when everything starts to manifest. Because anxiety stops emitting a vibration of lack, and the universe, sensing that you already feel complete, brings to you what once seemed out of reach. Letting go is the final act of vibrational faith. It's the proof that you trust so much in the reality you're creating that you no longer need to chase it. You simply allow it to come. If you truly want to manifest in a powerful, simple way, aligned with the laws of the quantum field, you need to know a practice called backcasting. Unlike traditional goal setting, which moves from the present toward a future objective, backcasting does the opposite. It starts from the final result as if it has already happened, and reconstructs backwards the path that led there. This technique is a tool for deep vibrational alignment because it puts your consciousness exactly where it needs to be, in the already accomplished end. On the quantum level, this makes perfect sense. Time isn't linear as we perceive it. It's a field of simultaneous possibilities. Every version of you, with or without success, with or without prosperity, with or without love, already exists as a vibrational timeline. What determines which one you experience is your internal state, your emotions, your identity, your coherence. When you practice backcasting, you collapse the already done timeline and anchor it in the present. It's literally a quantum leap of identity. So how does this work in practice? Close your eyes and imagine with every possible detail that what you want has already happened. Not as something far away or dreamed of, but as a vivid memory. Place yourself in the scene, the location, the sensations, the conversations, the sounds, what you're wearing, how you feel. Feel the vibration of the achievement already lived. Now keep that image in your mind and start going back in time. Ask yourself, what was essential for this to happen? What decisions were made? What habits did I need to adopt? What version of myself did I need to embody to get here? This reverse reconstruction isn't just mental, it's vibrational. You begin mapping the manifestation path not as a strategic plan, but as an internal alignment. By doing this, you activate new emotional responses, new postures, new behaviors, all based on the vibration of already done. Jacobo Grinberg argued that the mind shapes the structure of time through intention and perception. Backcasting is the practice that turns this theory into experience. You don't project a desire into the future. You assume the end and walk back to the present as if you were retelling your own success story. And here's the secret. Every time you practice backcasting, your mind becomes more comfortable with the idea that the result is already real. Your body starts responding as if victory has already been achieved. Anxiety disappears. Doubt goes silent. And the quantum field, upon receiving this frequency of completion, organizes events, encounters, and circumstances to align your reality with that vibration. Backcasting is more than visualization. It's vibrational rehearsal. It's like practicing the life you're already living before it becomes visible. And by repeating this consistently, the universe has no choice. It delivers what you're already living internally. You've just accessed a truth that few dare to apply. The most powerful manifestation happens when you stop desiring and start embodying. When you stop chasing a future and decide to inhabit, in the present, the vibration of someone who has already won. From now on, the choice is yours. You can keep wishing, waiting, trying, or you can reverse it all and become now the reality you've always sought. Don't wait for external proof to feel ready. Don't condition your transformation on signs from the world. Become the sign. Emit the frequency of certainty, gratitude, and presence. Choose the version of you that already lives your dream life and take on that role with conviction, not out of vanity, but out of coherence. The universe doesn't give you what you ask for. It mirrors what you are. If this message resonated with you, if something inside you awoke while hearing it, then I invite you to act. Start today. Practice backcasting. Align your vibration. Be the future now. And remember, this channel is a sacred space for transformation. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone who needs to awaken to this power. Together, we are co-creating a new reality. The quantum field is listening. The question is, are you already vibrating like someone ready to receive?